That's a topic I'm not going to discuss because, one, we're not supposed to discuss other teams' players in this position that I have here.
Okay.
And so I violated one of the tenets of our thing. And the obvious thing is the word itself carries connotation, and I just don't understand that part of it, the word. So, I guess word choice could be something I could regret, but talking about other teams' players that's out of the box.
Well, LeBron did say today that if he...
Phil Jackson has finally broken his silence, and his comments about LeBron James have sent shockwaves through the basketball world. After years of staying quiet, the legendary coach released a statement that challenges long-held beliefs about LeBron's legacy. One of the most respected figures in NBA history is now openly questioning where the king truly belongs among the greats. What makes it even more surprising is that it all began with a private conversation that somehow found its way onto social media. Now the debate is everywhere. Fans are outraged, critics are thrilled, and Phil Jackson isn't backing down.
I think it's incredible. He can play without fouling a lot of times. He can play defense on almost everybody that's on the floor. He's an unselfish ball player. He doesn't lust to score like Michael or Kobe did, or does. He doesn't have that same. But when need is there, he definitely finds a way to score. So his game has continued to improve over the last 4 or 5 years. And, we don't see what the limit.
Phil Jackson isn't just another opinion in basketball. When he talks, the game stops to listen. With 11 championship rings as a head coach, 6 earned alongside Michael Jordan and 5 with Kobe Bryant, he shared the court with 2 of the greatest players the sport has ever seen. Few people understand championship greatness the way Phil does, because he's lived it from the inside. For years, though, he stayed far away from the modern NBA spotlight. While debates rage on podcasts and social media about the GOAT, who's overrated, and who deserves more credit, Phil has remained silent. From a distance, he's watched as LeBron James built what many believe is the most impressive career in basketball history: 4 titles for Finals MVPs, and the NBA's all-time scoring record. On paper, the case seems undeniable. But Phil Jackson has never been someone who speaks just to be heard. He doesn't chase attention or headlines. When he says something, it's deliberate. It's measured. And in late January 2025, after years of avoiding the LeBron legacy debate, Phil finally broke his silence. What followed ignited the basketball world. At this stage of LeBron's career, the discussion is no longer about whether he's great. It's about where he stands in history. Is he better than Jordan? Is he the greatest ever? Supporters point to the stats, the longevity, the versatility, and the cultural impact. But Phil Jackson sees it differently, and now he's willing to say it out loud. His voice carries enormous weight. Players he's coached often describe him like a basketball philosopher. So when rumors surfaced that Phil had thoughts on LeBron's legacy, people leaned in. What no one expected was just how explosive those thoughts would be.
Special. You said I'm special. I am not like anybody else.
That's true.
And I'm not talking about the public.
Yeah.
I'm talking about amongst the NBA ilk. I'm talking about cats that are a part of the fraternity of 450 plus players. That's it. In the world. You still went to the negotiating table and said, I'm one of the best. We expect to see that shit. And if you don't show it to us, we gonna point out that.
It began at an intimate dinner in Los Angeles in late January 2025, a quiet gathering of basketball legends, front office executives, and media insiders. Phil Jackson was there at ease, enjoying the evening. As it often does in a room like that, the conversation turned to basketball, then to legacy, then to greatness. Eventually, someone posed the question directly: where does LeBron James rank all time? Phil didn't pause. According to several people in attendance, his response instantly changed the mood of the room. He spoke about how greatness in today's NBA looks different, how the league has evolved, and how modern narratives are shaped and managed in ways that never existed before. Then he delivered the line that froze the table. LeBron's legacy, he said, is impressive, but manufactured. When compared to what Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant achieved, Phil argued, it's a comparison between eras with very different standards of accountability. That single word, manufactured, cut through everything. And Phil wasn't finished. He went on to discuss team hopping, media influence, and how LeBron has been able to shape his own story through strategic relationships and platforms unavailable to past generations. He suggested that many of LeBron's decisions were made with legacy in mind, not just championships, and questioned whether that kind of carefully constructed greatness could ever equal the raw, uncompromising dominance of someone like Jordan. The room was stunned. The conversation stayed private, until it didn't. Less than 2 days later, pieces of it leaked online. Not the nuance. Not the full discussion. Just the headline-grabbing claim. Phil Jackson says LeBron's legacy is manufactured. That was enough. Social media erupted. Twitter caught fire. Instagram flooded with reactions. Sports networks rushed to break the story. In an instant, the biggest controversy of the 2025 basketball season was born. LeBron's supporters went on the offensive, calling Phil bitter, outdated, and disrespectful. The backlash poured in by the thousands. Meanwhile, LeBron's critics felt validated. At last, someone with unquestioned credibility was saying what they believed all along. The sides were chosen, the lines were drawn, and there was no middle ground left.
It just sucks that, now at this point, having one of the, biggest businesses that you can have, both on and off the floor, having a certified agent in Rich Paul, having a certified business partner in Maverick Carter, that's done so many great business, that the title for young African Americans is the word Posse. So it's,
So what did Phil Jackson actually mean? Because this wasn't just a bitter old legend taking shots at the modern game. Phil Jackson didn't coach for a few seasons, he lived inside the NBA for decades. He's seen greatness face to face. And when he talks about a manufactured legacy, he's pointing to very specific things. First, there's the issue of movement. Phil's champions stayed put. Michael Jordan was a bull, full stop, aside from that short Wizards chapter. Kobe Bryant never wore another jersey besides purple and gold. They built dynasties where they were drafted. LeBron James, on the other hand, has played for multiple franchises, Miami, Cleveland twice, and now elsewhere. Each move was intentional. Each move positioned him for the best possible chance to win. And Phil's argument is straightforward. Legends don't go looking for greatness. Legends turn their situation into greatness. They elevate the franchise, they don't leave to find a better one. Then comes the super team era. LeBron didn't create it, but he mastered it. Miami with Wade and Bosh. The return to Cleveland and the Kevin Love trade. Strategic roster construction designed to tilt the odds. Phil has coached against super teams and beaten them, but his teams were built differently. They were grown, not assembled overnight. Core players developed together, learned together, failed together, and eventually won together. To Phil, there's a fundamental difference between stacking talent and forging dominance. But Phil didn't stop there. He went deeper, into leadership. He spoke about how Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant led through pressure, confrontation, and relentless standards. They pushed teammates into discomfort. They demanded excellence, sometimes brutally. LeBron's leadership style is different. More collaborative. More supportive. More media-aware. And Phil's question wasn't whether that style works, but whether it creates the same championship DNA, or a softer version of greatness that looks impressive without being ruthless. The quote that truly ignited the fire was this: "When you control the narrative, when you decide how your story is told, you're no longer letting the game speak for itself." Michael never had to declare himself the greatest. Kobe never had to frame his legacy. Everyone just knew. That hit hard because LeBron has arguably been more involved in shaping his public image than any athlete ever. Through social media, documentaries, production companies, partnerships, and branding. Phil's question wasn't subtle. Is this greatness or is this marketing? The internet doesn't understand nuance. Within hours, the leaked comments dominated everything. ESPN devoted entire blocks to it. FS1 rolled out debate panels. Social media turned into a battleground. Former teammates rushed to LeBron's defense. One anonymous source close to him said the criticism was absurd, that LeBron has done more for basketball than anyone of his era and that Phil was simply guarding Michael Jordan's legacy. Other players posted vague but pointed messages clearly backing LeBron. The message was unmistakable. This crossed a line. But Phil had supporters too. Older fans, those who watched Jordan at his peak, felt Phil was finally saying out loud what they believed for years. LeBron is great, they said, but not that great. Phil coached the real GOAT. He knows what he's talking about. The generational divide in basketball fandom had never been clearer. Analysts were split. Some called Phil outdated, unable to adapt to the modern NBA. Others praised him for refusing to bend to popular opinion. There was no agreement, only chaos. And through all of it, LeBron stayed silent. No tweets. No Instagram captions. Nothing. But people close to him told reporters the comments cut deep. LeBron respected Phil. He admired his legacy. Hearing this from someone like Phil hurt more than anything a casual critic could say. And the silence only made things louder. Then Phil Jackson did the unthinkable. He doubled down. 3 days after the leak, Phil released a direct statement. No PR spin, no apology. He made his stance unmistakable. He said greatness isn't just about stats or rings, it's about the path you take. About mentality. About demanding excellence, not through friendship, but through accountability. He said he's coached that kind of greatness. He knows what it looks like, and what it doesn't. He brought up moments that still linger, the 2011 finals, the nationally televised departure from Cleveland, the reliance on talent stacking instead of talent elevation. And then came the line that took everything to another level. Michael never had to announce his greatness. Kobe never had to build an empire to protect their story. The game told it for them. When you're truly great, people remember, not because of what you said, but because of what you did when everything was on the line. The internet exploded again, but this time it felt different. Phil wasn't retreating. He was challenging the entire modern definition of greatness. Former players who stayed quiet before started speaking. Some backed Phil. Others questioned his motives. And suddenly this wasn't just about LeBron. It was about how greatness itself is measured. Is it numbers? Rings? Loyalty? Leadership? Narrative? Or some mix of all of it? LeBron still didn't respond publicly, but sources said he saw the statement, read every word, and that it bothered him more than anything else in his career. And that's the real takeaway. This isn't just Phil versus LeBron. It's two philosophies colliding. Old school basketball versus modern empowerment. Loyalty versus mobility. Letting the game speak versus controlling the narrative. Neither is inherently wrong, but deciding which one defines true greatness is where the war begins. Phil's words matter because of who he is. He's not a TV pundit. He's not chasing relevance. He's the most successful coach of the modern era. He's been inside championship locker rooms with the very players he's comparing LeBron to. When someone like that questions your legacy, people listen. LeBron supporters will argue the game has changed, and they're right. Today's NBA isn't the 90s. The strategies, the rules, the power dynamics are different. What worked then doesn't always apply now, and that's fair. The truth is, we'll never know how LeBron would have looked in Jordan's era, or how Jordan would dominate today's game. That mystery is why this debate never dies. What we do know is this: Phil Jackson cracked the door open and it can't be closed. Every future conversation about LeBron's legacy will include Phil's words. Every GOAT debate will circle back to this moment. And this goes beyond basketball. It's about respect. Phil didn't have to say anything. He chose to. Whether that's honesty or unnecessary provocation depends on where you stand. The big question now is whether LeBron responds, or whether he lets time, performance, and history answer for him. Either way, this moment is now part of the story. Because when one of the greatest coaches ever questions your greatness, that echo doesn't fade. So who's right? Is Phil protecting Jordan's throne, or telling an uncomfortable truth? Is LeBron's approach evolution, or proof of a manufactured legacy? That's the debate. And it's not ending anytime soon.